Well, it's still getting messier and messier in the It Ends With Us feud between co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaint, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence when she filed her complaint.
The entertainment world is abuzz with one of Hollywood's most dramatic feuds in recent memory. A saga of lawsuits, power struggles, and shocking allegations. At the center of it all is Justin Baldoni, actor, director, and producer, fighting to protect his reputation and career, while Blake Lively, a beloved industry powerhouse, faces accusations of orchestrating a calculated effort to sabotage both Baldoni and the film they worked on together, It Ends With Us. Adding to the drama is Ryan Reynolds, one of Hollywood's biggest stars, making this conflict even more explosive. But this isn't just a clash between actors. It's a legal battle involving lawsuits worth $400 million, allegations of manipulation, and some of the most astonishing claims to emerge from a movie set. Baldoni has filed a lawsuit against Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist Leslie Sloan, alleging civil extortion, defamation, and contract-related breaches. The controversy traces back to the production of It Ends With Us, the highly anticipated adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel. What should have been a defining project for both stars quickly descended into chaos, with Baldoni claiming that Lively leveraged her star power to take control of the production and create turmoil on set.
You're not kidding when you say this is getting messier. The author of that book deleting her Instagram account, another who plays Baldoni's sister in the film, being harassed online for siding with Blake.
Baldoni alleges that things initially started on a positive note, with both sides seemingly aligned on their vision for the film. However, according to him, everything took a sharp turn when Lively, who was cast as the lead, began pushing for more creative control than what is typically granted to an actor. His lawsuit claims that she didn't just offer extra input. She went as far as rewriting entire scenes, redesigning her character's wardrobe, and even creating her own cut of the film, completely bypassing the director and editing team. Imagine being the director and producer of a movie, only to discover that the lead actor had re-edited your work without your knowledge. That, according to Baldoni, is exactly what happened.
Significant allegations in Baldoni's lawsuit is that Lively sought to gain control over the editing process of the film. This is important.
He claims she used her influence to have him excluded from promotional events for the film, a significant move given that he wasn't just an actor, but also one of its producers. According to Baldoni, this was a calculated effort to undermine him and damage his reputation. While Lively's camp has denied these allegations, Baldoni's team has reportedly submitted text messages and emails as evidence to support their claims. These messages allegedly reveal a pattern of behavior that starkly contrasts with the polished image many fans have of Lively.
They believe that it's a continuation of the smear campaign that Blake initially claims happened while they were promoting the film.
Now let's talk about the lawsuit itself. Baldoni isn't just suing to protect his reputation, he's seeking compensation for what he claims are real, tangible losses. According to his legal team, Lively's actions didn't just cause personal embarrassment, they also cost him future opportunities. The lawsuit argues that her alleged manipulation and defamation have made him virtually radioactive in the industry, leading to lost jobs and the collapse of potential collaborations. Given the vast amounts of money that flow through Hollywood, it's no surprise that the damages in this case have reached such a staggering figure.
That Justin won't be bullied by Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. So his lawyer told us that their recent court filings show how scared they are.
One of the most explosive claims in the lawsuit is that Lively allegedly attempted to extort Baldoni and his team. According to the legal filing, she and Reynolds demanded that Baldoni take the fall for the film's negative press. The lawsuit alleges that as Lively faced backlash for her involvement in the movie, she and Reynolds drafted a public statement for Baldoni to release, one that would have placed full blame for the controversy squarely on his shoulders. When he refused to sign it, the situation escalated. Baldoni claims that this was the turning point when Lively and Reynolds allegedly launched a calculated campaign to destroy his reputation, both personally and professionally. Adding to the drama, new video evidence released by Baldoni's legal team includes unedited footage from the filming of It Ends With Us. His lawsuit also points to the timing of Lively's actions. accusing her of strategically exploiting moments of crisis to maximize their impact. For example, the lawsuit alleges that legal papers were served to Baldoni and his team while they were evacuating their homes during the devastating LA fires. Imagine trying to protect your family and belongings from a natural disaster only to have process servers arrive at your door with a lawsuit. Baldoni's team argues that this wasn't a coincidence, but a calculated move designed to create chaos and frame him as the villain.
Video released by lawyers for actor Justin Baldoni showed unedited footage from the filming of It Ends With Us.
And if you think that's bad, it only gets worse. Baldoni claims that one of the most shocking moments during production came when he discovered that Lively had allegedly never even read the book the movie was based on. According to the lawsuit, her lack of familiarity with the source material led to some of her more controversial creative decisions, which clashed with the original vision for the film. For example, Baldoni's team alleges that instead of immersing herself in the novel to understand her character, Lively simply Googled details about her appearance. They argue that this lack of engagement with the source material contributed to the disruptive nature of her creative changes, ultimately derailing the project.
Most of his career, he has been a major proponent of feminism, of healthy masculinity. How does it feel for him?
But perhaps the most personal allegation in the lawsuit involves a comment Lively allegedly made about Baldoni's appearance. According to the filing, she told him he should consider getting a nose job, a remark that cuts even deeper given that Baldoni has previously spoken publicly about his insecurities regarding his nose. His legal team claims there is even video evidence of this exchange, which they intend to release as part of their defense. The idea that such a personal jab could be made on set is shocking, especially in the midst of such a high-profile production.
Literally, I'm just asking the question, like, how are women allowed to do this, to take something and to make it sound like you survived, because that's what it sounded like to the public.
There's Ryan Reynolds, who is also named in the lawsuit. Baldoni alleges that despite not being officially involved in the film's production, Reynolds still managed to stir up trouble. According to Baldoni, Reynolds rewrote a key scene in the movie without authorization, further complicating an already tense environment. This revelation allegedly came to light during a press interview when Lively casually mentioned that Reynolds had helped with the script, a statement that Baldoni's team claims blindsided him. Imagine working tirelessly on a project, only to discover that someone who wasn't even part of the production team had made significant changes behind your back.
Two sides here, right? So Baldoni says this was all an effort to hijack the film to get her way. Lively claims she was the victim of harassment in a hostile work environment.
Baldoni didn't speak out sooner. According to his lawsuit, he initially chose to let things slide for the sake of the movie, wanting to focus on making the film a success rather than derailing the project by airing their behind-the-scenes conflicts. However, when Lively filed her own lawsuit against him, alleging inappropriate behavior on set, Baldoni says he had no choice but to fight back. His legal team has described Lively's claims as not only false, but also part of a broader strategy to shift blame away from herself.
She also provided a cease and desist letter, asking them to cease, quote, all unlawful conduct, namely what they alleged is the, quote, harassing and retaliatory media and online campaign against.
What makes this case particularly intriguing is how both sides are using the media to sway public opinion. Baldoni's team has released what they claim is untampered evidence, including text messages and video footage, to counter Lively's allegations. Meanwhile, Lively's camp has accused Baldoni of orchestrating a smear campaign against her. Both parties are portraying themselves as the victim, making it incredibly difficult to discern the truth. With such high-profile names involved, the public is hanging on every development, dissecting every piece of evidence in an attempt to make sense of the unfolding drama.
You look at this scene that was captured on tape, you'll see there's nothing nefarious going on. She says this actually proves her point. There's an argument that she is hiding her discomfort with what he's saying and doing, and she's just trying to finish the scene like any kind of professional. Which way you take it, which way you perceive it, again, that'll be up to a jury.
Baldoni argues that if you examine the footage, it clearly shows nothing inappropriate happening, supporting his claim that Lively's allegations are unfounded. On the other hand, Lively contends that the same footage actually proves her point, suggesting that she was masking her discomfort and simply trying to get through the scene professionally. Ultimately, How this evidence is interpreted will be up to a jury or the fact finder, making the case even more complex and open to debate.
Explained that when Lively had filed her complaint with the California Civil Rights Department, she provided a copy of that to the defendants, meaning defendants like Justin Baldoni.
This legal battle is only just heating up, and the stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just about money or professional reputations. It's about power, influence, and the way Hollywood operates behind closed doors. Whether you're Team Blake or Team Justin, one thing is certain. This story is far from over. With both sides firmly standing their ground, it feels like we're only scratching the surface of what's to come. What really happened on the set of It Ends With Us? And will the full truth ever come to light? Stay tuned. This Hollywood showdown is far from finished.
By both of them and their very powerful friends in entertainment.
The drama surrounding Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively goes far beyond lawsuits and creative clashes. It delves deep into the tangled web of Hollywood power plays, personal digs, and a narrative so shocking it's almost hard to believe. As the story continues to unfold, it feels less like a professional dispute and more like an all-out war between two of Hollywood's most recognizable stars. With careers, reputations, and millions of dollars at stake, the battle shows no signs of slowing down.
Now to the ongoing Hollywood drama everyone is talking about, the legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin.
How both sides are doubling down, releasing evidence, issuing public statements, and battling for control of the narrative. It's a masterclass in celebrity damage control, with two starkly different versions of the same story at the center. On one hand, Baldoni insists he was the victim of a calculated smear campaign designed to destroy him and his work. On the other, Lively portrays a toxic, hostile working environment where she felt cornered and disrespected. And as each side continues to push their narrative, the truth only seems to become murkier.
But this is such an interpretation of perspective, because I watched the footage, and I'm sure we all have, and, it's very easy to...
Let's dive into some of the more eye-popping details from Baldoni's lawsuit, starting with the claim that Lively wasn't just difficult to work with. She was allegedly plotting to derail the entire production. Baldoni's team points to a 30-item list of demands that Lively supposedly presented to the production team midway through filming, a list they claim was both unreasonable and nearly impossible to fulfill. According to Baldoni, these demands weren't about professionalism or ensuring a smooth production, but were instead a calculated move to paint the production as incompetent while giving Lively an excuse to distance herself from the backlash the film was beginning to generate. However, this interpretation remains a matter of perspective, and with footage now circulating, the debate over what really happened on set is far from settled.
It was a very dicey move, because I think this very much opens up interpretation to what Blake Lively is saying was uncomfortable, and the key word here,
One of the most shocking allegations in the lawsuit is that Lively demanded significant changes to how certain scenes were filmed, including the addition of an intimacy coordinator. Baldoni's team argues that this request was unnecessary, as such professionals were already present for all relevant scenes. However, Lively's camp fired back, claiming that these changes were necessary due to Baldoni's own behavior, which she felt crossed personal and professional boundaries. It's a classic case of he said, she said, with both sides scrambling to present evidence that supports their version of events. The key issue here is interpretation. What Lively describes as discomfort and unwelcome behavior, Baldoni dismisses as baseless accusations. Adding another layer of controversy, Baldoni claims that Lively completely bypassed the normal production process by creating her own cut of the film. According to him, this wasn't just a minor tweak, it was a full-scale re-edit that fundamentally altered the movie's tone and message. The most shocking part? Baldoni and his team were allegedly not even allowed to see this version until after it had already been shown to a select group of industry insiders. Imagine being the director and producer of a film, only to discover that someone else had taken your work and drastically changed it without your input. That's the kind of power play Baldoni claims he was up against. With tensions escalating and neither side backing down, this legal battle is only growing nastier, and Baldoni, for his part, refuses to be silenced.
cowering to this attempted gag order.
Yeah, I don't really understand Blake Lively's point.
One of the most startling claims in Baldoni's lawsuit is that Lively intentionally turned the cast and crew against him. His legal team alleges that she used her star power to sway other actors and key crew members, gradually isolating Baldoni throughout the production. By the time the film's premiere took place, he claims he and his guests were pushed to a makeshift holding area in the basement, far from the glitz and glamour of the main event. To back up this accusation, his lawsuit reportedly includes photos showing him and his team seated at fold-out tables while the rest of the cast socialized upstairs, a stark contrast that Baldoni argues was a calculated effort to diminish his presence.
May even be violating the New York rules of professional conduct for lawyers by doing all this. Quote, his conduct threatens to and will materially prejudice both the Lively case and the Wayfair case by tainting the jury pool because his statements are deliberately aimed at undermining the character, credibility, and reputation of numerous relevant parties.
There are even claims that Fredman may be violating the New York rules of professional conduct for lawyers by engaging in these actions. According to critics, his conduct poses a serious risk of materially prejudicing both the Lively case and the Wayfair case by influencing the jury pool. They argue that his statements are deliberately designed to undermine the character, credibility, and reputation of multiple key parties involved, further complicating an already contentious legal battle.
The montage dancing video that we put out. Why? Because, quote, the Lively Party's counsel publicly described the contents of video footage relating to Miss Lively's allegations as damning. Their statement continued, any woman who's been inappropriately touched in the workplace will recognize Miss Lively's discomfort.
Then there's the involvement of Ryan Reynolds, who, despite not being officially part of the production, has become a central figure in this legal battle. Baldoni's lawsuit accuses Reynolds of not only interfering in the creative process, but also using his influence to pressure him into taking the blame for the film's struggles. According to Baldoni, Reynolds and Lively presented him with a pre-drafted public statement that would have essentially thrown him under the bus, absolving them of any responsibility for the movie's shortcomings. When Baldoni refused to sign it, he claims the gloves came off, and the alleged campaign to destroy his reputation began in earnest.
To get it into the public atmosphere, and now you're not going to allow me the chance to respond in the same avenue?
One of the more puzzling aspects of this legal battle is the inclusion of Taylor Swift in Baldoni's lawsuit. While Swift had no direct involvement in the film, Baldoni claims that Lively leveraged her friendship with the pop star as part of her alleged takeover strategy. According to Baldoni, Lively referred to Swift and Reynolds as her dragons, likening herself to the Mother of Dragons from Game of Thrones. This wasn't just a throwaway remark. Baldoni argues that it exemplifies how Lively used her connections to some of the most powerful figures in the entertainment industry to intimidate and undermine him.
Sidebar, Blake Lively's team has denied all of these allegations. They have responded to this filing, this lawsuit, saying,
one of the most personal and controversial moments in Baldoni's lawsuit is the allegation that Lively made a hurtful comment about his appearance, allegedly suggesting he should consider getting a nose job. For Baldoni, who has spoken openly about his insecurities, this remark wasn't just inappropriate, it was deeply offensive. His lawsuit argues that this moment symbolized the larger issues on set, where he felt belittled and disrespected by someone he initially trusted as a collaborator. At the same time, Lively has maintained that she was the one who felt unsafe and mistreated, accusing Baldoni of harassment, claims he vehemently denies. As if the situation wasn't already explosive, Baldoni's lawsuit also accuses Lively of weaponizing the media to further her agenda. He claims her team selectively leaked information to major outlets, including the New York Times, to paint him as the villain while conveniently omitting key details that would have provided necessary context. In an extraordinary move, Baldoni even sued the New York Times for libel, alleging that their coverage was biased and one-sided. The publication has strongly denied these claims, insisting their reporting was thorough and accurate, but their involvement in the lawsuit only underscores how far-reaching this conflict has become. Lively's team hasn't taken these accusations lightly. In response to Baldoni's lawsuit, they have doubled down on their claims, describing his legal actions as a textbook attempt to discredit a victim. They've accused Baldoni of employing a tactic known as DARVO, an acronym for deny, attack, reverse victim and offender, arguing that he is flipping the narrative by casting himself as the victim while sowing doubt about Lively's allegations. They have also criticized Baldoni's decision to release unedited footage from the set, dismissing it as a calculated media stunt aimed at manipulating public opinion rather than presenting legitimate evidence in court.